The Lakers gotten enough from LeBron this season?
Oh, not from this season. They certainly haven't. If you're LeBron James and you're the leader of that ball club and still, all right, Durant, but probably the best pound for pound, still probably the best player in the league, you cannot be, as Steven said earlier today, 17 games under 500. If you're LeBron, Jordan, they'd be in the playoffs if Jordan was on that team. I'll tell you that right now. And we're going to sit there and we're going to compare him to Jordan. You think that Jordan's going to be on this team 17 games under 500? In the prime of his career, I know LeBron's probably a little past his prime, but you get the idea. You think Kareem? How about Kareem? You think they'd be in the playoffs if Kareem was their center and by him with nobody else? Magic. That is a joke. Magic. Another Bird. Not a chance. That is what drives me crazy.
Need a tissue.
And LeBron, how about LeBron taking the responsibility?
Give me a tissue, please.
How about LeBron going out there here in the next 24 hours and saying to me, you know what? Blame it on me. I'm the best player. I did a lousy job with this team.
LeBron will never say, I was an architect for this team. He will never say that. He will never take accountability.
How about LeBron go out there and says, I got to take the responsibility. It is a joke that the Pelicans, without Williamson and Ingram didn't play half the year, and the Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs with the Utah kid as a power forward. I mean, they make the playoffs of LeBron James. That is a disgrace. If you're LeBron James, you got to be embarrassed by that. You're LeBron James. You're the second or third best player in the history of the NBA. If I take any of the other guys on that list who are in the top 10, Kobe, Jordan, Kareem, Wilt, Russell, anybody you want to name, Bob Pettit, anybody you want to name, he's on the list. Anybody you want to name, they are going to make the playoffs. I don't expect them to win 60 games. You're telling me that somebody like Jordan wouldn't go 45 and 37 on the Lakers? So to me, he's got to take responsibility for that. But the problem that LeBron has, and I got to let him talk in a minute, the problem that LeBron has, he's got too many teams. He wears too many caps. Is he a Cavalier? No, he's a Heat. Oh, he's back to the Cavaliers. Now he's a Laker. Now we're going to speculate if he's going to stay there in L.A. He goes somewhere else. The great player stays with the same team.
Steph Curry's the one that I want to play with, for sure.
Hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Come on. Hell no, to the no, no, to the no, 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 to the no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no, no.
Let's talk about the team that begins with the L that's taking a big L right now. And you know who we're talking about. They're out. The Lakers have officially been eliminated from the play-in tournament, from the playoffs. The Suns sent them home again. So what are you saying, Shaquille?
This is a no excuses year.
Okay.
At the beginning of the year, everybody, including me, you got four of the greatest players, 4.5, 5, whatever, on the same team.
5 for sure.
5, okay.
5.
On the same team. Forget playoffs. We're talking championships, right?
Right.
Didn't happen. We saw that it wasn't going to work. They tried to blame it on Russ and AD's not playing and this and that. But we, when I say we, me and Jamal, no, we see. I see they didn't care the whole year.
Mm.
And when you're an OG, young boys don't care nothing about that. You have to put them in their place every time. If you don't put them in their place every time, then they know they got you. LeBron knows that. Carmelo knows that. Russ knows that. You let these boys get too much life and too much energy. You're old. In order to compete against that, you have to at least compete, right? But if you're not competing and they're coming at your neck 1,000,000 miles an hour, they're going to always beat you. And LeBron's my guy, but nobody was ever scared of LeBron, right? So if you're not scared of a guy, you just have much more confidence. And that's a dangerous guy to play with. Like me, I used to intimidate guys.
Why do you think no one's ever scared of him? He's a beast. Why do you think people aren't scared of him?
No, they respect him, but they don't fear him. Because I can tell. Because I could tell, like, when I watched them play against him, they're not scared. Like, you could tell who's scared, you could tell who fears you, and you could tell who respects you.
Who's a player that you think people fear? Who is that player?
And it's Giannis.
Okay.
They fear Giannis now.
You really?
Yeah. Did they fear Giannis? Because Because they can see it in his face when he coming down the damn lane full court. They can see, like, yo, this guy not playing. It's a no excuse year. I'm not going to bash them. They know what they did, but I don't think they really cared. I don't really think they had that pride.
Is this on? Hello? This is going out to LeBron James and all you Laker fans. I told you this wouldn't work from day one. I told you LeBron James is the worst general manager in the history of the National Basketball Association.
Who, me?
Yes, you. I'm not shocked. Who's shocked today? Chris, I told you, you want to go pull the tape? Go to YouTube. Rob Parker stuck his chest out on this very radio show, on this very radio network, and said, not only will they not make the playoffs, they won't be in the top 10, hence they won't be a part of the play-in. I never bought into this. This was chicanery. This was three-card money, a sham, a fraud. LeBron was passing out $3 bills to Laker fans when he told them that this would work and he would deliver a championship with this star-studded roster. Phooey! LeBron, what was this that you brought to L.A.? It was embarrassing. No defense. I don't care. You could be averaging 40 points a game. The Lakers haven't won, Chris Broussard, 2 games in a row since Moby Dick was a guppy or January 7th. Either one, whatever you want to come up with. And you smell that? That's not the dump in downtown L.A., that's the Lakers.
Poop fest.
That LeBron put together. Westbrook. Carmelo Anthony. Really?
They suck.
I mean, we really thought that this team was going to come together and make a championship run. Chris Broussard is a basketball expert in the NBA. He said they got a puncher's chance when AD comes back. Chris even held on to an ounce of faith that maybe something, and even Shaq had the audacity, the mitigated gall.
Unmitigated
gall to go on to go on a podcast and say, the Suns don't want to see the Lakers because the Lakers are going to beat the Suns. Where are you now, big man? LeBron James, this is squarely on you. You are to blame. Wear it. Rub it all over. Smear your face with it. You deserve it. You did this to this Lakers organization, and you are public enemy number 1 today with Laker fans. I rest my case.
All right. Nicely done for the most part.
Rob Parker.
Did you hear what LA Times columnist Bill Plaschke said about LeBron on the Will Cain show yesterday? Listen to this.
You know, it goes back to what Kevin Durant said. And I ripped Kevin Durant in my LA Times column because I thought he was being a baby when he said it's too hard to play with LeBron. He went through all these things about what a different orbit it is, the toxicity of the environment. He said all this right after LeBron showed up. Well, guess what? Kevin Durant was right. We're all saying this. We're saying, oh, my goodness, he was right. LeBron, it's a different beast. It's a different environment. It's a different orbit. And he's eclipsed the whole Laker family environment. He's eclipsed all that. And he's kind of taken over. And that works if you win. And if you lose, it becomes like a big weight on you. And so, yeah, I think that anybody who's worried about, and the Laker fans are worried about the future, those fears are real and those fears are pertinent. Absolutely.
Seth, LeBron, locker room.
I think he kills your locker room. He has nothing in common with any of those millennials. In fact, he's separated himself. Think about 2 weeks ago or about 10 days ago. They're losing. They're not playing well. He's not playing well. He's not guarding anyone. He's not competing. He gets taken out of the game. They're down 20. Where was he sitting? He was sitting at the end of the bench. There were 2 chairs between him and the next player. That right there is a microcosm of who they are and where their locker room is. Look, LeBron's done incredible things. You talk about his ability to go back to his community. You talk about his school. You can talk about all the great things he's doing. He is horrendous as a teammate.
So Brian Windhorst shared an interesting theory yesterday. He said LeBron, quote, wears his team out after 4 years everywhere he goes. Described a cycle of organizational fatigue in Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland again, now L.A. If you think about it, I mean, he appears to be right. So,
all right, look, I do want to address the LeBron wears teams out narrative because that is out there. All right, there's a lot of people that when Windhorst said that were like, yep, that's what I mean. But I'm with Nick on this. The goal of an organization, look, I know it's tough when LeBron's there. All right, the pressure to win is incredible. He's going to want a lot of say and throw his weight around. All right, and the pressure on the players that play with him, they get all the blame when they don't win, and he gets all the credit when they do win. So there's no doubt it's pressure there. But the goal is to win championships.
Yo, come on, LeBron. Let me look into the camera. I mean, yo, Bronny's watching, bro. The family's watching. The basketball world is watching. How could you say something so flagrantly untrue? How could you do that? Come on, bro. You better than that. You finished 16 games under 500 as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. A place where you came to win chips just to fulfill what others before you had done, Kobe and Shaq and everybody else in between. You finished 16 games under 500 in a playoff system that extended from 8 teams per conference to 10 teams per conference. You still missed the playoffs. And that's not a failure? You got to be kidding me.
All right, we want to hear from you now,
yes.
right? We do. Who's to blame in this match?
877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369.
Chris is cutting up his blame pie. I'm giving it all to LeBron.
100% to LeBron? My goodness.
100%.
Alex is giving him 110%. He just whispered in my ear. My
120.
gosh.
And as far as I'm concerned, Vogel's in the middle of that. He can't offset it. It's not his fault. But he can't offset it.
Maybe he should go back to Cleveland then.
They just won
They've got a better record.
Which gives them the right to go
That's the problem
elsewhere.
with the Lakers. When things go bad, make the coach the scapegoat. They'll do that the next year, the year after, the year after. There's no continuity.
All I hear about LeBron is he spends $2 million a year on his fitness. He's Iron Man. Nobody's ever been in this shape at age 37. He is resetting the bar on how you play at age 37 because most people, including you, would think he's at least at the backside of his prime.
Like everybody feels he's at the backside.
Okay, he's at the backside, but that means he's still in his prime. This was still a prime year for him, and scoring the basketball, especially since the All-Star break, yeah, he's been sensational to the detriment of his team because the team went 4-17. And if I go back a little further, remember at one point they were 22-22, and you thought, okay, are they going to take off or not? And since that moment at 22-22, that was on January 17th, they went 9-26. 9-26? Mm-hmm. Well, okay, at the very least, it doesn't help his GOAT case. It doesn't help his legacy. And I think it taints it because you say, what just happened? How could LeBron bleeping James allowed the Los Angeles Lakers to miss the playoffs? It's impossibly bad. It's almost incomprehensible. We sit here day after day like, what happened? What's wrong? Well, it starts with LeBron. He doesn't play defense at all. He quit even focusing on he quit caring about playing defense. That started.